There are movie lines you remember. And then there are lines that stay with you for life. Lines you didn't just hear, you felt them. They became inside jokes, comforting phrases, words you've quoted for decades without even thinking about it. Star Wars isn't remembered only because of its characters or its stories. It's remembered because of the moments when everything stopped and someone said exactly the right thing. Tonight, we're counting down the 20 lines that defined Star Wars. From the original trilogy, to the prequels, to the sequels, and the streaming era. These lines made us laugh. They broke our hearts. They changed cinema forever. This isn't just a list. It's a journey through the soul of Star Wars. Number 20. This is the very first spoken line of The Mandalorian, and it does an incredible amount of work in just one sentence.
Look, there must be some mistake. I can get you more credits.
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
We don't know who this character is yet. We don't know his name. We don't even know his face. But we instantly understand his world. The line is delivered calmly, without threat or emotion, which makes it far more intimidating. It establishes Din Djarin as a classic Western gunslinger, transporting Star Wars into a genre it had never fully explored before. This line became iconic because it announced something important. Star Wars had grown up without losing its soul. Number 19. This line is Star Wars' longest-running inside joke. What makes it special isn't the wording, it's the tradition.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
But I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Generations of fans wait for it in every film, smiling the moment it appears. It's Star Wars acknowledging itself, a wink to the audience that says, yes, we're still home. Few franchises have a recurring line that lasts over 4 decades without becoming annoying. That alone makes it legendary. Number 18. 3 words that became a creed.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
What's powerful about this line is how it evolves. At first, it sounds rigid, almost cold, but over time, it becomes a source of identity, loyalty, and even compassion. The phrase exploded into pop culture, becoming a meme, a motto, and even a greeting among fans. It worked because it felt ancient, like something that had always existed in Star Wars lore. Number 17. Ahsoka Tano's declaration is one of the most quietly powerful lines in the entire franchise.
Then I will avenge his death.
Revenge is not the Jedi way.
I am no Jedi.
It's not defiance. It's not anger. It's self-definition. In one sentence, Ahsoka separates herself from the Jedi Order without rejecting the light. That nuance made her one of the most beloved characters in modern Star Wars. And this line became a defining moment for fans who saw themselves in her journey. Number 16. At first, this line shocked audiences. Coming from Luke Skywalker, the greatest Jedi of his generation, it sounded like betrayal, like rejection, like surrender.
So it is time for the Jedi Order to end.
Time it is.
But in context, it's something far more important. By the time Luke speaks these words in The Last Jedi, he has lived the full Jedi story. He's seen their greatest triumphs and their most devastating failures. He's witnessed how rigid doctrine, fear of attachment, and absolute thinking helped give rise to Darth Vader, and later to the fall of the Jedi Order itself. When Luke says it's time for the Jedi to end, he isn't calling for the death of the light side. He's calling for the Jedi to evolve. The Jedi's refusal to allow relationships didn't prevent darkness, it helped create it. And that's what makes this moment so significant. This is the same Luke who chose love over violence. The same Luke who believed his father could be redeemed. The same Luke who proved that rigid dogma is not the same thing as wisdom. By opening the door to an evolved understanding of the Force, Luke becomes more than a Jedi Knight. He becomes a teacher for the future. For the Jedi to survive, they must first change. Number 15. Against the background of the Iraq War, there was a sentiment that the US leadership was making decisions without the consent of the Congress or the people. This quote became one of the loudest commentaries on politics in the entire saga.
The Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire for a safe and secure society.
So this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause.
Padme's quiet observation reframes Star Wars as a cautionary tale about democracy and power. It's frequently quoted in real-world political discussions, proof that Star Wars, at its best, speaks far beyond fantasy. Number 14.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Darth Vader doesn't shout, he doesn't rage, he controls. This line defines Vader's menace through restraint. It's been endlessly parodied, but the original still carries weight because it established what true villainy looked like in cinema. Number 13. Kyle's simple phrase became iconic because it ended every conversation.
I will help you. I have spoken.
No argument, no debate. The line exploded into meme culture, but its power comes from its clarity, something Star Wars fans appreciated in a franchise often filled with grand speeches. Number 12. This line perfectly captures Han Solo's philosophy.
Possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Where others calculate, Han acts. It's been quoted in sports, business, and everyday life as shorthand for bold confidence. The reason it works is because it reflects Star Wars' belief that hope matters more than probability. Number 11. This mantra grows in power every time it's repeated.
I'm one with the Force is with me. And the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force is with me.
Chirrut Imwe doesn't wield the Force in the traditional sense. He believes in it. That belief becomes the emotional heart of Rogue One, culminating in one of the film's most powerful moments. For many fans, this line restored the spiritual mysticism of the Force. Before we reach the top 10, if you're enjoying this journey through Star Wars history, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and ensures more deep dive Star Wars content like this finds its way to fans like you. Now, let's continue with the quote that became one of the most popular internet memes. Number 10. This line introduced the Jedi mind trick and became one of the most quoted phrases in pop culture history and one of the most famous internet memes of all time.
Let me see your identification.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
It's been referenced in films, TV, and even music, including a Queens of the Stone Age song of the same name. This line became shorthand for misdirection everywhere. The line works because it's subtle, no spectacle, just quiet confidence, and suddenly the galaxy feels very different. Number 9. Few lines in Star Wars history are as controversial or as instantly recognizable as this one. Context matters here. This moment comes at the absolute end of Anakin Skywalker's transformation. He awakens in the black armor of Darth Vader, having lost everything: Padme, the Jedi, his identity, and his future. When he learns Padme is dead, the scream that follows isn't just rage. It's grief. It's horror. It's the sound of someone realizing the cost of their choices. For years, fans debated whether this line worked. Some felt it was too theatrical. Others argued it stripped away the mystery of Vader. But over time, the line has taken on new meaning. Viewed through the lens of tragedy, it becomes the final punctuation mark on Anakin's fall. Not a moment of villainy, but of unbearable loss. And whether you love it or hate it, there's no denying this. The moment is unforgettable. 8.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
Pure exhilaration. This line is inseparable from the Death Star trench run, one of the most iconic climaxes in film history. It represents everything Star Wars does best: teamwork, courage, and hope against impossible odds. 7. Few lines triggered nostalgia as powerfully.
Chewie, we're home.
This moment wasn't about plot, it was about emotion. It reassured audiences that Star Wars was back, and for many fans, it remains one of the most emotionally loaded moments of the Disney era. Number 6.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
It's too big to be a space station.
This line is spoken quietly, almost in passing, but it changes everything. In a single realization, the scale of the galaxy shifts. What Luke and the audience believed was a distant moon is suddenly revealed to be something far more terrifying. There's no explosion, no dramatic music cue, just understanding. This moment proves that Star Wars doesn't always need spectacle to shock. Sometimes, all it takes is perspective. And from that point on, the galaxy feels far bigger and far more dangerous. 5. This is Luke's defining moment.
You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This line rejects anger, violence, and revenge, reaffirming that compassion is the true strength of the Jedi. 4. This line is often quoted as motivation, printed on posters, shared in speeches, used as a mantra for determination. But in its original context, it means something far deeper. Yoda isn't telling Luke to work harder. He's teaching him how the Force actually works. At this point in The Empire Strikes Back, Luke is frustrated. He's impatient. He wants results. But he doesn't yet believe in himself or in the Force. When Yoda asks Luke to lift the X-Wing from the swamp, Luke tries. And when he fails, he assumes failure was inevitable. That's when Yoda delivers the line.
No, try not. Do. Or do not. There is no try.
What Yoda is really saying is this: if you commit while believing you will fail, you already have. The Force doesn't respond to effort alone. It responds to belief. And when Yoda lifts the X-Wing out of the swamp, it shatters Luke's understanding of his own limitations. Luke's response, "I don't believe it," says everything. And Yoda's quiet reply, "That is why you fail," becomes one of the most important lessons in the entire saga. This scene defines Yoda's influence on Luke not as a warrior or general, but as a teacher of mindset. That's why this line has endured for over 40 years. It isn't telling us to try harder, it's telling us to believe. Number 3. This is not just the most famous line in Star Wars, it's one of the most important moments in cinema history. By the time we reach this scene in The Empire Strikes Back, Luke Skywalker believes he understands the story. He believes Darth Vader murdered his father. He believes the galaxy is divided neatly between good and evil. And then, in a single moment, everything collapses. The revelation doesn't come with spectacle. There's no music swell, no dramatic pause, just a quiet, devastating truth spoken calmly.
I am your father.
What makes this line so powerful isn't the shock alone. It's what it destroys. In that instant, Luke loses. His understanding of his past, his certainty about the enemy, and the simple moral clarity he's been relying on. Vader isn't taunting Luke here. He isn't raging. He's offering him something. A future, a partnership, a chance to rule the galaxy together. That's what makes the moment so unsettling. The villain isn't threatening destruction. He's offering belonging. For the audience in 1980, this twist changed everything. It redefined what a plot twist could be, and it transformed Star Wars from a straightforward hero's journey into a family tragedy. From this moment on, Star Wars was no longer just about defeating evil. It was about confronting it and deciding whether redemption is possible. This line didn't just shock audiences, it reshaped the soul of the saga. Number 2. This moment is remembered as one of the most romantic exchanges in film history. But what makes it truly special is how untraditional it is. By the time we reach this scene in The Empire Strikes Back, Han Solo is about to be frozen in carbonite. The odds of survival are unclear. There's no dramatic rescue, no heroic last stand, just finality. Leia finally says the words she's been holding back, and in almost any other movie, the response would be predictable. But Han doesn't say it back. Instead, he smiles, calm, confident, and completely himself, and replies,
I love you.
I know.
What makes this exchange so powerful is that it tells us everything about both characters. Leia is finally allowing herself vulnerability. Han, for once, isn't deflecting with humor. He's acknowledging the truth without needing to repeat it. The line was famously improvised by Harrison Ford, and that spontaneity is part of why it works so well. It feels real. unpolished, human. Over the decades, this exchange has been endlessly referenced, parodied, and quoted, but the original moment still carries emotional weight because it captures something rare in Star Wars: quiet love in the face of uncertainty. It reminds us that not every heroic moment is about destiny or the Force. Sometimes it's just about saying the right thing and knowing it's enough. Before we reveal the #1 Star Wars quote of all time, stay with us, because after #1, we'll share 5 unforgettable bonus quotes that just missed the list. #1. There was never any doubt. This line could only be #1.
And may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you isn't just the most famous line in Star Wars. It's one of the most enduring phrases in all of cinema. When it's first spoken in A New Hope, it doesn't sound grand or prophetic. It's quiet, almost casual, but over time, those words come to mean everything. They become a farewell spoken before impossible odds. A blessing passed from one generation to the next. A reminder that no matter how dark the moment feels, hope is never truly gone. What makes this line so powerful is that it evolves alongside the saga. At first, it's about belief in something unseen. Later, it becomes about trust in others, in destiny, and in oneself. By the end of the Skywalker story, it carries the weight of every sacrifice, every victory, and every loss that came before it. Outside the films, the line took on a life of its own. It's spoken at weddings and funerals, printed on graduation cards, shared as encouragement in moments of uncertainty. Few movie quotes have ever crossed so completely into real life. And that's because this line isn't about the Force alone. It's about faith, about resilience, about choosing hope, even when the galaxy seems stacked against you. As long as those words are spoken, as long as someone believes in them, Star Wars will never truly fade. And if you thought that was the end, stay with us just a little longer. Because even after narrowing it down to 20, there are still lines in Star Wars that deserve to be remembered. They may not have cracked the top of the list, but they're unforgettable in their own right. Here are 5 bonus Star Wars quotes that just missed the cut. Dry humor at its finest, instantly beloved.
Congratulations, you are being rescued.
A philosophical foundation quoted far beyond Star Wars.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
A chilling manifesto that signaled it was indeed too late to save Ben Solo.
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
Classic Han, cutting humor and attitude in a sentence.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
A touching moment of nobility as the end drew near for one of our favorite characters.
What are you doing there, 3PO?
Taking one last look, sir. At my friend.
Star Wars gave us unforgettable worlds. But it was the words that stayed with us. And they always will. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this trip through hyperspace, please hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you, always.